Good morning around the Diamond family. Welcome back for another rousing episode. We are here on a beautiful Saturday morning talking all things baseball. I'm excited to be here. I know Bill's excited to be here. Let's not waste any time. Bill, how are you doing on this fine Saturday morning?
Beautiful. We
Ooh,
have a this week today. Actually, we're filming another rivalry talk. The camera crew shows up in like 2 hours. We got the watch party this afternoon. We got a watch party next Friday. We got another camera filming that Saturday. We're gonna be busy. Good
man,
stuff.
Top Fam rivalry is blowing up. It is beautiful to see. Around the Diamond is excited to be a part of it. And let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. Let's
Giddy up.
go to our AL standings. Bill, you want to take us through the AL this week?
Absolutely. AL standings. We'll start in the West. The West is seriously the wild, wild West. You're starting to see the Mariners make some moves. If you watch the Mariners Astros game last night, the Mariners are starting to get their groove on. Notice the Angels are 8-2 in their last 10 games, which is phenomenal. The Twins have a kind of stranglehold on their division right now, but notice how nobody else is over 500. The Tigers are in second place. It's because the Tigers met the Mets. Don't want to say anything about that. The White Sox, if you listen to the podcast this week with Dave and Chris, the White Sox are going to make their moves. They're not going to be that bad. Sorry, Royals. We'll see you next year. Rays, okay, they can't figure out a way to lose, but either can the Orioles. So, and look at the Red Stockings. The Red Stockings and the Blue Jays, right? And the Yankees are in last place. We'll talk about that in a bit. But, if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, Sammy, who would be in first place after the first month and who would be in last place, I would not have said the Rays and Yankees. I would have not said the White Sox being almost in the cellar, and I would not have said the Rangers in first place. Wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I think the biggest shocker on this entire board, is
Mhm.
the Rays.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's great to see. It's great for baseball when a non-traditional team that's typically at the top of the game, at the top of the mark, is making their way up the ladder board. And it's great for baseball. And I just want to see more of it. And I think this year is going to be the start of seeing more of it. Not just on the AL side, but let's also take it over to the NL side. Looking at this National League board, you know, I'm going to start with the East. I know Bill started in the West on his side, but let's take a look at the Braves. The East is kind of in its typical fashion right now. Braves are leading in the East. Hold a good lead though over the Mets. But the Marlins and the Phillies and the Mets are all fighting, and then you got the Nationals, unfortunately, right now. Let's see you next year. But as we move to the Central, the Pirates, I think, in all of baseball, are the shocker team right now. They are playing with so much energy and so much fun. It's hard not to be excited to see what this team is doing. And then I would just take it over to the NL West. And also, pardon me, on the Central side, for some weird reason, the Cardinals right now are just doing nothing. Nothing is coming together for them. And then as we move it over to the West, the Dodgers are starting to do what Dodgers do. They are currently, I think it's a half a game lead in first, but the D-backs, the Padres, and even the Giants are not letting the Dodgers do what they did last year at this point in the season and start with like an 8-9 game lead. They're keeping it tight. Right now, the Giants all the way up are no more than 4 games out. So the West right now is still tight, but across these NLs, Bill, what do you think?
So first of all, around the diamond, folks, please understand that the Giants could have a worse record than the A's, and Sam's still going to say they got a shot.
Yes.
And so just so that you know, no, listen, it's going to be a dogfight. It's a little surprising that Diamondbacks are there, but they are a young team. We talked about that last year. Pirates are the shock of MLB, like you had said. The Cardinals are sucking wind. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. They came to LA. We swept them. The Angels manhandled them in St. Louis. I mean, it doesn't, and their schedule doesn't get any easier for them.
Mhm.
Uh, and so on the East side, um, I'm a little surprised that the Phillies have jumped out to such a slow start. Now they have Bryce Harper back, so we'll see how that plays itself out. The Mets are showing weakness, so it's a little strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, but moving on. I mean, we got the standings, boys and girls. So now let's talk leaders. Woo woo.
Yeah, no. Looking at these leaders, I mean, I'll take the pitchers this week. I mean, looking at these pitch leaders. I mean, you got Shane McCallahan with the Rays showing off why the Rays are the number one team in the East. He's got 6 wins, more than any other pitcher in baseball. Garrett Cole right now rocking 5, as well as Steele, Kershaw, and Ryan. So pitching, you still got a lot of strong pitchers out there, but once we move into the injury report, you're going to start seeing a lot of crazy things happening from the pitching side. Also on the strikeout leader side, Shohei Ohtani kind of coming in and reclaiming his top spot in that strikeout leaderboard. He knows he's the best pitcher in all of baseball, possibly the best overall baseball player in all of baseball, and he is going to make sure his name is recognized across the leaderboard this year.
Yep.
Gausman had a great last couple of weeks, which has boosted him up the strikeout leaderboard, up with 58. And then you got Gallen, Strider, and Pablo all within 57 to 54. So you're seeing a lot of strikeouts, but we got a little bit to talk about when we get to the injury report. Bill, what about the stat leaders on the hidden side?
So averages, it's a little surprising to see some of these averages so high.
Yeah.
Even and I'm not saying so high, I'm saying this far into the season, right? These are video game numbers. These are numbers that you usually see after 3 games.
Yeah.
We're 40 games into the season for some people. So that's pretty impressive. On the RBI side, Devers is having a season. And so is Jordan Alvarez. Don't sleep on that guy. Max Muncy, but Randy Arozarena is playing with passion that I haven't seen him play with before.
The amazing
I will
man.
tell you though, if I were a pitcher and he hit a home run off me, if I were pitching the MLB and he stopped at third to do one of those things like he does, I'd be like, all right, buddy boy, watch how I walk you on one pitch your next at bat. You just watch this. But I mean, it drives me nuts. And I get it. Everybody's got to have a little fun, but come on. Come on.
My quick thing on that is while yes, it's not traditional, it's nice to see these players having fun with the game and enjoying themselves as they do it. I mean, look, Jazz Chisholm does it.
Mm.
Fernando Tatis does it. Everyone's got their little thing. I agree. Maybe the stop at third before you finish off at home plate is a little much. Maybe just wait till you get to home plate and then do whatever you want to do. But it's great to see these guys having fun as they're playing. That's
So
all I'm going to say about that.
So I will say on this leaderboard, though, you have some potential future Hall of Famers
Oh
if they
yes,
continue to play. Jordan's gonna potential Hall of Famer, Acuna, Otani, Spencer Stash Strider, potential Hall of Famer, Garrett Cole. But I will say and
some guy
again,
named Clayton Kershaw.
well, he is a Hall of Famer. He could retire now. I'm just saying, like some of these guys, like if Shohei retired now, he wouldn't get into the Hall of Fame. He didn't do it for long enough,
Right.
right? He was a special talent, but he didn't do it for long enough. Clayton Kershaw, I mean, I know you're a Giant guy, but if
I
Clayton
will
hung him up
attest. Clayton
today,
Kershaw
in
is.
5 years, he's in. Would you agree?
There's no question. Clayton Kershaw is the first ballot Hall of Famer. Question.
Yeah,
He's
but
going to go down as one of the top 10 greatest pitchers of all time. I'm not going to take anything away from it. My gripe with him. He wears white and blue. That's it. That's
yeah,
my only gripe.
that's
And
your
it's
only
the
graph.
color blue I don't like. But Bill, talk about these leaderboards and my unfortunate dislike for Clayton Kershaw all day. Not that he's not a great person, but again, the color of the jersey he wears. But we have so much to unpack. I don't
Yeah.
want to contain it. I want to keep moving along. So the stolen let's go into this a little bit. We're 40 games into the season and we almost have 700 stolen bases.
Mm.
700 stolen bases. Ronald Acuna is still leading the leaderboard with Ruiz from Oakland coming in right behind, really neck and neck. These guys are going to fight for the steal leader of the year. And then you got Jazz Chisholm coming in with 11. You've got Ji-Hwan Bae from Pittsburgh with 14, and you got Nico Horner at 11. I mean, these players are taking advantage of these new rules, and they are running over pitchers. They are making sure that they are getting their steals in, and they are not afraid to make a move. Bill?
No, they're not afraid to make a move at all. No, and it's good. It's good for baseball because the next stat that we're going to show you is going to blow your mind because it's not a tit for tat thing. So notice how you have Shane McClanahan, who's got six wins already. You've got Clayton Kershaw and Garrett Cole that have 5 wins already. You have pitchers that are dominating too. You saw those strikeout boards by the end of May. Some of those pitchers may have close to 100 strikeouts. 2 months into the season, right? And which means they're on pace for 300 strikeouts in a season. It's insane. Okay. But now they're running. Go to the next slide. Let's show them the next slide, Sam. I mean, this is
Do we
insane.
want to show them the next slide?
Oh,
Bill,
yeah.
do you
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
they can handle? Do you think they can handle the next slide?
I don't know. We're going to try it. We're going to see what happens.
I can't even handle the next slide, and I put it together.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. Yep, there it is.
Bill, take me through this. Please walk me through this.
The long ball, baby. The long ball, 1,114 home runs already, up another 200 home runs, over 200 this last week. Max Muncy, Pete, I can't find a jersey that fits me. Alonso, or LLPA, ladies love Pete Alonso, right? Like LL Cool J, Rafi Devers, Patrick Wisdom, Brent Rooker. I mean, we're seeing long balls get hit. So not only this is the dream season for the MLB, but our next slide is going to show how it's not such a dream season. But this is the dream season for the MLB because they're running more, they're hitting more, and they're pitching more. So it's like the dream season for the MLB. Sammy, thoughts on this?
And the real quick shocker on this list before we move into why this is great for batters but terrible for other players is Max Muncy only hit 1 home run in the last week.
Yep.
One single home run. Pete Alonso, 1 home run. Rafael Devers, 2 home runs. Wisdom, 2 home runs. And Brent Rooker wasn't even on this list last week.
Right.
You know, it's not that these leaders are hitting home runs like every other day. They're hitting them at key times. Max Muncy's home run was a grand slam that won the game. That was the only home run he had this week, and it came at the opportune moment. Pete Alonso's home run came at the opportune moment. You know, it's great to see that these guys are really taking advantage of the hitting. But like you said, with great power, unfortunately, comes great responsibility. And as we go through these injury reports, we had to split this up to kind of make a point as to what's happening. So, Bill, you want to take us through this?
Yeah. So some of these names you've heard before. Matt Manning out till the 12th, foot injury, right? Brandon Woodruff, which is huge for Milwaukee. And if he comes back strong, that's where Milwaukee's going to pick up their ground. Garrett Mitchell, obviously out for probably the remainder of the season, but we'll see. Jose Altuve is out until the 25th. As long as the MLB doesn't change their height requirement, if they raise their height requirement to play in the majors, he's out.
Yeah, well, the reason why that one's important is because he was expected to be out until mid-June with his thumb injury.
Correct.
And they pulled it back. So it's good to see them, but it'll also be interesting to see how they play him coming back from the thumb injury.
Oh, yeah. But again, if there's a height requirement, you're in trouble.
Yes, agree. Right. He has to be over 5'7" to play. So
yeah. The others, calf injury, June, July, and then Rodriguez out until October 1st. Honestly, October 1st is the last day of the season. And the Cardinals aren't making the playoffs. At least it doesn't look like it right now unless they go on a tear. So he's pretty much out for the season.
Yeah. But this next slide is why it's great for the batters, but harder for defense. all of these guys are pitchers, and every single one has an elbow injury. So you got Lou Trevino, who is out for the season. Now, German Marquez, Chris Bubik, Jose Quijada, Luis Garcia, and Austin Warren. It's great that we're able to see home runs and steals and the action in the field with guys at the plate. But it's starting to cause a lot of issues with players' health, especially starting pitchers. And some of these elite guys right now that are leading the stat board, it's great for them now, but it's going to be very interesting to see how they're able to elongate their season with the amount of time they have between pitching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I will say this one thing in Houston. Losing Garcia is a big blow. Not having Altuve is a big blow. When Altuve comes back, you'll see. If I were a betting man, I would say by July you're seeing a Houston, Arlington, Anaheim race. Those three teams, and it's going to be neck, neck, neck. So, but I'm excited for our topics today. You know what I love about this show, Sammy, is we do the same thing every week and get you guys caught up, and then we give you two topics. And
Right.
today's topics are going to be so much fun.
Yes.
So much fun.
Well, and I can't wait. So let's just not even wait. What's happening in the Bronx right now? Can we please just like take a second and look at what's going on in New York?
That's my
What is
favorite
going
picture of
on?
Carlos Rendon.
I mean, Rendon was their, beyond signing Aaron Judge, or I'm sorry, Arson. I mean, Aaron
Arson.
Judge. I mean,
Yeah.
Aaron. It's Aaron. It is Aaron, right? Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Besides signing Aaron Judge, bringing up their number one prospect, Volpe, you know, they're not doing what the Yankees have done. You sign Carlos Rendon in the offseason to this big contract. He throws all the shade at the Giants, being like, oh, they didn't use me. The guy hasn't thrown a ball in a Yankees jersey since the third game of spring training. And now he's not expected to be back until after the All-Star break. Right now, this is the biggest flop signing of the offseason.
Very true. Very true. And Derek Jeter used to say, hey, if we don't win the World Series, it was a failed season. Right. But
That's
it's a
all
different
Yankee fans say.
Yeah, but it's a different group of players. These guys are a different group. Arson, Aaron, Judge is starting to get that feeling, right? Of it. But I don't know that I'd sound the alarm just yet on this because the Yankees win a lot of games because people are afraid of the name on the front of the jersey when they go into different towns. They're still going to play the Cardinals who are struggling. They're still going to play the Nationals who are struggling. They're still going to play, the Reds. They're still going to play some other teams that are struggling, as are the Diamondbacks and others. But remember, the Diamondbacks started out with Detroit and Oakland, two teams that are rebuilding. So I don't know that we're sounding the alarm yet, but the Yankees, I think they play 28 games this month. They have to go 17-11 or better. Otherwise, their season's in a lot of trouble. They can't go 14-14 this month. The Rays are too good.
Yeah, I think, and this is just my opinion. The Yankees have a lot of big names. They've got all these guys that they're hyping up to the gills, and it's what as someone that grew up in Yankee territory, being a Giants fan, growing up in this territory, they always do. They always hype these guys up to be the best, like, we're the best players in the league. Well, you're not right now because you've got the Rays that are putting a thromping on everyone in your division. You've got the Orioles that are showing you that if you don't get younger, you're going to be old news. And I mean, like the Blue Jays are in a similar position. They're young. The Blue Jays are a young team. The Rays are a young team. The Orioles are a young team. The Red Sox are starting to become a young team. And then you got the Yankees.
Yeah. No, it's honestly, when hockey changed the rules a couple of years ago, well, I shouldn't say a couple of years ago, but about 10 years ago with the blue lines, they made the game faster. What
Mm.
that pitch clock and with the bigger bases and with some of the new rules that have come in, they've forced players to be younger. So if you're not athletic, if you can't play small ball like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and if you're not
Shockingly,
moving.
that was just last week. I mean, it
Oh,
feels like forever
yeah.
ago, but it was
Okay,
only
last
last
week.
week.
But yeah, if you can't play small ball, if you're not an athletic team, if you're not moving, and all you're doing is relying on the 5-run home run, you will be in the basement. You will be in the basement.
And the Yankees are in a and look, the Yankees playing in Yankee Stadium are a great team. You know
Yep.
why? Low fences, line drive home runs. You could do that with your eyes closed. I mean,
Yep.
I was at opening weekend when the Giants played the Yankees, and Aaron Judge, Jock Peterson, and Giancarlo Stanton all in that game hit line drive home runs over the right field fence.
Yep. But keep in mind,
Anywhere else, the ball would have been out.
besides for the Rays, watch out for Baltimore and watch out for Boston. Both of
Yep.
those teams are not getting the pub that they normally would get because people are in shock about the Rays, and they're in the shock that the Yankees are in the cellar. But watch out for Boston. Boston's like quietly making their move. They started slow, but watch out for Boston
Yep.
because these guys, they're a scrappy team too. So watch out for Boston.
Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you, right? Look, if things go the way they're trailing, Yankee fans are not going to be happy that they just paid Aaron Judge $360 million, and they may not even make the postseason.
Yep. Amen.
They'll figure
Amen.
it out. It's what they do. It's the Yankees. They'll figure it out, but they need to pick it up. And then there was another fun topic, Bill, and I really wanted to bring to you. We talk about it offline all the time,
All the time.
and it would be really encouraging and really fun to bring this topic to you as well. So, who's the best rivalry in baseball?
Yeah.
I mean, Bill and I are pretty firm and stuck on who we believe is the best rivalry in baseball.
Yep. Yep.
It's the
Yep.
Giants and the Dodgers.
Well,
Or
historically, that's what I would say. Historically, the MLB would say the one in the top left, the Yankees and the Red Sox. But you know,
you know what? I think yes, as history in the modern era goes back, the Red Sox and the Yankees will have been that top rivalry. But let's look at all of baseball history, going back to the early 1800s. The Giants and the Dodgers were two of the originating teams in all of baseball.
yeah,
Their rivalry is the only rivalry in baseball to travel 3,000 miles and be just as harsh on one coast as it was the other.
yep,
There's been
yep.
no other rivalry that has traveled the distance the Giants Dodgers has and been just as angry.
What I like about this, what I like about what you've done with this slide is you kept it to the historic rivals, and instead of using the Mets and Braves, use the Mets and the National League champion Phillies. And I like that because folks, if you're looking at this thing, you're probably going, why aren't the Braves there? Why isn't this rivalry there? What about the Dodgers Padres? What about, the Yankees Rays? Listen, we could list off every team on here.
Yep.
We're just going
I
for
could
the
have literally
historic
done
stuff.
I could have easily just done a slide that was the Dodgers versus the other 29 teams in baseball.
Yes.
Because for a
Yes.
long time, that's how it felt, that the Dodgers were rivals with everyone, because the Dodgers over the early 2000s for a long time would just thump
Yeah.
every team they went against.
Yeah. Well, and
The 90
again,
the
I want to
1990
know what
to
top fan
2000 Yankees would have done the same thing.
exactly. I want to know what top fan rivalry followers think,
Yeah.
right? And so we're going to talk more about this topic more. But I want to know what you guys think. After you watch this episode, I want to know what you guys think.
We
What is
really
the best
want to know.
rivalry in the MLB? Because I have my own personal opinions. Obviously I'm going to say Dodgers Giants. I could also say Dodgers Yankees. right? Dodgers
That was
Padres.
another one I was actually thinking of putting up here. But in
Yep.
my eyes, when I think of the Dodgers and the Yankees, it brings it back to the world to the what was it, the 66
Yep.
World Series? That's really in my where I see the Dodgers Yankees rivalry originating. But you're right. I took this from a historical stance as these five rivalries will go down in history
Yep.
as being the top as being in the top 10 rivalries of all time. There's no question about it.
Yes.
But as Bill said, we want to hear from you, top fans. We want to hear
Yes.
from you around the Diamond fans. Tell us what your thoughts are on this. Bring us who
So
your rivals are. And what we'll do is we'll analyze them and we'll talk about them.
So speaking of rivalries, we have rivalry week in baseball right now. MLB is trying to do like different rivalry weeks. So check out this schedule, right? So I got Mikey Bleeds Blue talking Dodgers this week. I got Nick talking Padres. I got Danny talking Dodgers. I got Melissa talking Padres. And then I got a group of Dodger Padre people talking on the podcast. Now, this isn't because I'm a Dodger fan. Okay. This is because this is one of the hot rivals right now. Trust me, you are going to see here very shortly as the website is updated. Yes, we are updating the website. As the website updates, okay, you are going to see more rivalry talk like this going each week, following places that we're going for watch parties. So, Sammy, do we have any watch parties coming up this week?
There are two huge watch parties coming up. And the first one is actually today. So the first
Yes.
watch party is going to be at Noble Ale in Anaheim. It's going to be from 5 tonight to 9 tonight. That's Pacific Standard Time, not Eastern Standard. I'll probably be close to being in bed by then. Don't call me. But you got the Dodgers playing the Padres at Petco Park. If you have locker room access and you come, you need to prove it to Bill. You got to show him. You can't just say, "Oh, I got locker room access." Bill's going to say, "Show me the proof." You show Bill the proof, you're going to get one of these custom Bleeds Blue versus Faithful Friar t-shirts that are only available if you go to the two watch parties this week and next week. And not only do you get that, there's going to be a great silent auction that Bill is going to talk more about at the event.
Yep.
But not only that, next week you can get this t-shirt at Social Tap for the second Padres Dodgers watch party, which will be taking place at Social Tap from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. next Friday. Again, the silent auction will be there. And Bill is going to want to see that proof that you are a locker room access member. And you're going to want to get it because the things that are coming out over the next couple of weeks are going to be huge. Like ginormous. Like you're not going to want to miss it. So you need to get that access. And not only that, there are two codes you could use. Two. They'll both get you the. There's two of them. I know it's crazy, but there's two of them, and I want to give them to you both, top fans, around the Diamond fans. Pick whichever one you want, whichever one's easiest to remember. You could either go to topfanrivalry.com and use the code Grand Slam in all caps, or you could use this code ATD in all caps for Around the Diamond. Both of those codes will get you 10% off your locker room access as well as anything else behind the locker room. And the stuff, like I said, Bill's got coming out is going to be huge. Not only are there great articles, you got great podcasts, and Bill, the merch.
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. You just saw a t-shirt, right? So guys, notice how we're doing Dodger Padres this week on the podcast, but we're doing Dodger Padres watch parties. Guess what? Guess what our next watch party is? It's in Atlanta, Georgia, when the Phillies are hosting the Braves next month. So guess what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about Mets, Phillies, Braves, right?
We're going to be doing a lot of NL East talk over the next couple of weeks as we prep for that.
And then after that, we got Houston. So guess what? We're going to talk a lot about that. Guys, so much fun. We're out of time. We're so grateful that you're on with us. We're grateful that you spend a half hour with us every Saturday. Sam has done a phenomenal job at putting things together for us. Thank you, Sam. Let's go out there and get it. Let's have a good week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Absolutely. Top fans, around the diamond fans, we appreciate you. We thank you. As always, come back to us next week. Bring us your thoughts. Bring us everything you want us to talk about, and we will see you on the field.
Have a good day.